Daniel Multz is in the newsroom right now. Let's go through it point by point, Daniel. Item one, tell me if I'm right or wrong. The Celtics have already won the series against the Nets.
Well, they're certainly on the right track, Ed. I think one of the biggest things you have to look at is that Kevin Durant, the best player on the Nets by a country mile, was held to a 31.7 field goal percentage in the first two games. His percentage during the regular season was 51.8%, 20% drop. And Ime Udoka has talked plenty about how the Nets are led by that two-headed monster of Durant and Kyrie Irving. And in game one, they cut off one of those heads, and in game two, they cut off both of them. So they can keep that up, and the Celtics are going to be on track for a good end of that series.
Right, but the series hasn't started yet. You know what they say, the series doesn't start until the home team loses, and the home team hasn't lost in the series yet.
No, they haven't, but I think with the way the Celtics are playing, especially on the boards, even without Rob Williams, now the Nets did improve in that department in game two, but at the end of the day, an even rebounding margin with the way the Nets are getting production up and down the lineup from the starting five and from players on the bench. Right now, they seem unstoppable, and it seems like the Nets are going to need a lot of things to go right, especially if Williams comes back at some point in Brooklyn in order for the home team to not lose.
Item two, the Red Sox got within 2 wins of the World Series last year. They don't even look like it now, but it's only April, right?
Yes, I mean, it is only April, but the biggest problem with the Red Sox has persisted through the start of the season, and that's pitching. In the starting rotation, Chris Sale being hurt was already a huge blow. Nathan Eovaldi has served up 5 home runs in his first 3 starts. He only surrendered 15 in 32 starts last year. That's not a good pace to be on. Nick Pivetta looks like he's throwing batting practice out there sometimes, and so does most of the bullpen. The lineup is going to be fine. Not everybody's hitting right now, but there's way too much firepower. You can almost make a full 1 through 9 lineup on the Red Sox with all-stars. They've got to figure out the pitching because every other team in that division has at least one big strength.
It's a powerful division, too. All right, item 3 is the NFL draft. And the Patriots probably sit where in their division? You've got Buffalo, you have a different Miami team, and then what? Where do you think the Patriots sit right now?
Well, I mean, they did go 9-7 last year. They did make the playoffs, but they are taking some big losses, especially on defense with Jamie Collins, Dante Hightower being gone. And there's a few different ways I think New England can go with this in the draft. 4 key positions. I think one is cornerback. They lost J.C. Jackson. There's a few good candidates like Clemson's Andrew Booth Jr. or Kyer Elam of the University of Florida. They can go linebacker to replace one of those 2 guys I mentioned, Hightower or Jamie Collins. I love Nakobe Dean out of Georgia. I don't know why he's fallen out of top 10s of mock drafts. That'd be a huge steal for them. And I think another one they could go is offensive guard. They lost Shaq Mason. There's a couple of guys like Zion Johnson of Boston College or Texas A&M's Kenyon Green, both projected to go at the end of the first round. And a wild card for me that I think they can go for, Ed, is wide receiver. I don't think acquiring Devontae Parker really fixes the problem. He's 29. He hasn't been a #1 receiver really ever. So if they can find a guy they like, whether it's Jamison Williams of Alabama, Chris Olave of Ohio State, or one of the many other first-round talents that are in this draft, if they could snag one of them, giving Mac Jones a weapon that can really be a #1 receiver, that could be a huge help for them, especially with Buffalo being loaded and Miami adding Tyreek Hill.
Okay, you're talking about a #1 receiver. Is Mac Jones a #1 quarterback? Is he a plus quarterback in the National Football League?
Absolutely. I think the big thing that Jones does already after his rookie season is he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. That's something that young quarterbacks run into all the time. Look at all the other rookies in his class. He made the playoffs his rookie year. Some quarterbacks who were taken last year didn't even start, and others who did had enormous struggles. Now, you can give some of that credit to Belichick and the Pats being a good team, but at the end of the day, Jones completes a lot of his passes. He doesn't make mistakes. He can run a little bit too, and I think giving him that weapon will take him from the rookie-level quarterback entering his second year to the same level as maybe Josh Allen or one of the other quarterbacks. Wow. He can get to that level with another big weapon around him and some other improvements made to that team.
Best ability for a player in the NFL is availability, and he played every game last year in the NFL.
And Devontae Parker didn't, and that's one of the reasons why I don't think he's the final solution there for that 3-receiver tandem between him, Nelson Aguilar and Jacoby Myers, and throw Kendrick Bourne in there too. They're all good pieces. None of them are the guy. That's what they're missing.
Daniel Multz, great job. So talk to you later.
Thanks, Ed.